basement of this group, they need to take on the top dogs. Razah Academy enters this matchup as the #1 team in this group at the moment. So BDS, they've got their hands full. Operator bans rolling in, and Razah Academy will ban first, and they get rid of the black.
Ooh, Blackbeard taken off the board. Uses has actually been playing a lot of that Blackbeard, I believe, yes. Debuted it yesterday against Dark Zero. Has been looking very good with it, so I like that ban a lot. Could see a Maverick here. It's going to be Monty instead from BDS. The double shield ban from both these teams. I will note as well, there's no HUD bug this time around, so the bans are being attributed to the correct teams. Both these teams have a history of banning Maverick on this map, so I thought one of them might want to take it off the board, but instead it will be left up, and it'll be a zombie for our first defender to be removed from the game. Strongest defender in the matchup, and of course, very, very powerful up on those garage rafters, so it makes a lot of sense to take her out of the pool. Could be a Mira here coming out from RC, AC, maybe Tubarow's a strong operator on this bomb site, or on this map as well, but it will just be the classic Mira. That's what they banned yesterday, I believe, sorry, 2 days ago, in their matchup against Dark Zero, so sticking consistent from RC, AC. We'll start to get into the matchup here, Parker. This is one of those games that I think on paper should be a stand-up, should be a quick one, a simple match for the best team in the world, BDS. But in practice, what we've learned is that RCAC are a fiery team with a lot to prove and nothing to lose. So I'm expecting a fantastic one as we load on in to Nighthaven Labs. Top floor will be our first bomb site, as it oh so often is. Razah Company are going to start off with a couple of wall denial operators here too. Bandit being brought out by Perez. STK rocking that mute. Keeping that IT wall close is going to be of utmost importance. Connector wall as well sees a lot of value there. I'm going to say this top floor, it might be really hard to hold garage. Two defending operators banned out, Mira and Azami, are probably the two single best operators for holding rafters. So not sure exactly what the plan's going to be for both of these teams to lock down this part of the map. We'll have to wait and find out. It might just end up being kind of a loose hole, as they're going to be holding down below with a castle strat. This is kind of new.
Our analyst Fresh just walked in, saw the map between the two teams, gave an approving head nod, and then immediately left. So glad that Jack's okay with that.
Jack, he was checking to make sure it wasn't Oregon.
No teams want to go to Oregon. I don't get what it is. It's a good map.
Yeah, I enjoy playing it. I haven't seen it in a while. Be nice to maybe have a little bit of a comeback from it. You saw it as well just a moment ago. STK lurking the flash tree. That is an open doorway. And it's early. It's early in the morning. Flash tree's got to wake up. But first round, he'll be sleeping.
God help the players who have to wake up at 7 a.m. for their matches.
Nice shot from Ligifact, to be fair. Upside down repel. They'll swing it again. They've got a drone on this guy. They gotta find this drone, or this is gonna be another easy punish. It's just on the stairs. Sometimes the most obvious drones are the hardest to see.
Well, you've also got the housing blocking it, right? When Perez ADS's, he actually blocks the drone site in front of him. He'll get it this time. I think that was a Rotero drone,
yeah.
though.
Still on the stairs.
Much bigger. Much easier to hit.
Certainly.
Users should be able to get this wall open, no problem. Perez has two of those barbed wires in pocket, Jesse, so he could have gone for a trick, but will opt not to do that. Instead, the killing will be done by hand on the Solotov. Goodbye to the Flores. Quick response by BDS, as EFAC will use the logic bomb. I think that was him killing Perez under the castle barricade, by the way.
Yep.
Two sentry proximity alarms, sentry alarms there. A little bit over a minute to go, and the advantage right now in favor of BDS. He might have crashed out yesterday, but his mental's very good today. Ligifact with 3 kills at this point. Bride on the board, so an ace will be denied as Shaiko had fallen just moments before that. Razah Academy's been dropped down to just Basetto. They'll need to clutch out on a smoke.
Got great tools. Shotgun, SMG-11, and a barbed wire.
Can't hit a drone.
Okay.
Tough one. Flashed out and pushed into electrical as he's maneuvered off of the site very adeptly by BDS. Letting one flashbang go by. Diffuser in the hands of Bride as he's now at the halfway point. Basetto wraps around the bomb site. He's going to have no visibility on this whatsoever. They know exactly where he is. Uzis firing a couple warning shots. And now Veto will move in very gingerly. But Uzis had to read the whole time. And while his earlier bullets missed, the later ones don't. First round goes to BDS.
A little sloppy early in the morning from Razah Academy. Obviously, he's dropping a lot of bodies up inside of garage, up inside of rafters. That drone that was just sat on the stairs the whole time gave so much information. Looking back with the DMR, was able to just hold the angles, shoot the feet, find the heads. Clearly, the captain woke up early and ready for this matchup. But that's one that, the mistake should be easy to fix from Razah Academy, right? You deal with that drone. Maybe you go for a bit of a different setup. Maybe you don't hold rafters as hard next time. There's some simple ways to get around that. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but certainly not the most inspiring first round.
Never noticed those birds before.
You
You hear that when it zoomed out? You heard like little birds
Yes,
chirping?
I noticed this once before. I think it was on a different map.
You didn't tell me?
I think I was streaming it.
You know
and
my
I heard
love
it.
of birds.
It's crazy. It's the little details, again, Parker, that you sometimes just don't notice.
You miss it. There's so much that we're
Well,
fixated on here.
I mean, again, the birds also, they don't come out unless it is early in the morning like this. They rise early and they do their calls. So
The early bird gets the worm, I heard, actually, was what I was told.
I've heard that from
Have
a
you
lot
heard
of
that?
different. I've heard that from a lot of different birds. Actually, it does seem to be true. Yeah.
That's okay, though. Birds aren't real. They're government tracking devices.
A hard support, a BDS, is not named Bird. He is named Bride.
Very close, though.
Very close.
Excellent transition.
New viewers will often mistake that name, and new casters as well sometimes.
Why is that guy misspelling bird?
He's going to, of course, be on the ace this time around. Not the most common op that you see for attacking this. We're down in the basement from Uzis already. And his shield just barely saves him from that nitro.
The way the shield moved there, I thought he just got vaporized. He turned into a kill feed. Uzis is dropped now by the sounds of Perez's MP7. Actually, Flastry's MP7. Oh, there's two MP7s.
Uh-oh.
It's double the danger. Uzis can get picked back up, and the good news is with an adrenal surge, Uzis can actually get very close to full HP. He's not going to be able to get all the way there, but about 80-90% of the way is definitely doable. You just got to wait out the adrenal surge cooldowns. I think Shaiko already used one earlier on Uzis when he was first under fire. They're knocking on the door of the bomb site right now, and hear those birds again. As Razah Academy are still holding on very aggressively to this main floor. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. Veto has to march away as Shaiko gets the leadoff pick. Flastry answers back. He secures the kill on the Uzis that baited him before. Shaiko missing a golden opportunity. Perez one on to Solitov. Advantage now for RCAC. Even if Flastry is low on HP, you still have to favor them in this altercation. Shaiko out of adrenal surges, so no way if damage is done to BDS to get them back up. EFAC with one on the Flastry. They're in the bomb site, Jesse. Diffuser in hand. Bride will go about it. The smart goggles do not allow you to see through the floor. Don't know if Live was thinking he was going to get some kind of special bonus with that one. That is a mute jammer. You cannot use that unless you want to throw it at your opponent. STK now being watched from these three players. And he's collapsed upon. Shaiko getting the final kill. BDS continuing their winning.
That was a great reset. Initially they had all their players down inside of EXO, and I didn't like that push. They didn't have control inside of storage. Of course, getting a plant down EXO door is so difficult when you don't have that level of control. But instead, they went for a bit of a reset. Maybe they caused some panic with Uzis on that blitz, and then they rotated back over to Animus. Bride got a perfect plant spot that just was not being predicted by Razah Academy. They're going to go down 0-2 early on the defense of Nighthaven Labs. Back-to-back rounds where we're seeing late-round players have a lot of util still in pocket. People like to read into that sometimes. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world if you don't place down a barb, don't place down a mute jammer, but if it's happening consistently, that might signal that there are some issues going on in the prep phase of these matches. So hoping to get that kind of sorted out in the near future.
Heard the birds again.
Yeah, I mean, it's early. It's like 10 a.m. in Boston, so the birds will probably be around for another couple hours.
In this instance, the birds aren't real. Because they're in a video game.
They probably got real birds to record the sound.
You have no idea where they got that from.
I don't, but I would imagine it's real birds. It's probably harder to fake a bird sound than it is to just record a bird.
Have you ever tried to create?
Nope. No, this is an uneducated opinion. I could be wrong.
We all learned today. You're learning about bird sounds. I'm not really learning anything.
I feel like you were the one who didn't know about the birds to begin with. I think you're learning about the bird sounds.
Do you think Oregon has bird sounds? None of these teams play it anymore. Never know.
We're back top floor, yeah. This is typically the most common bomb site that we get on Nighthaven, but again, with both Mira and a zombie banned out, holding rafters is really tough. They tried to do it with the castle last time around. They're going to run the bomb site back. No castle this time. I like the strat a bit better.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
impacts don't really do much damage
no,
anymore.
they just tickle. So, if anything, it's just going to help them open the wall.
Is the wall...
I believe it's soft now.
I was going to say, is it
start to work on it?
Rotero drone is known for clearing out utility, but...
Ooh. The impact destroyed the Rotero before it could blow up. That was really nice from Perez. He managed to space it just correctly, so it didn't destroy his Banshees, but it did destroy the Rotero drone. That was super clean.
Now that wall has been fully opened up by the Rotero drone, as EFAC have none remaining. Leaky Fact yet to die, by the way, sitting at 5-0 for his scoreline. That's pretty good. He and Brede, actually, so far have been invincible up to this point. Solotov will now hunt through garage. It's a dangerous spot for Leaky Fact to play on, but I guess they've got intel that nobody's going to swing on that rafters position.
Yeah, and it's so hard to hold here. I like that Razah fell off this time. They lost so many bodies inside of rafters the last time they went to this site. Now they're just going to give it up for free. The Thermite will be able to open it up, and that will be an entry point into site. But still strong positioning from Razah. They're not in a bad spot here.
Everybody's still alive. Brede, the only one to take any real damage here, Jesse. It's going to be an all-out brawl if you look at the clock and look at the player counts. Oh, beautiful shot by Leaky Fact. He's leading by example. He almost gets another. He'll hug that reinforcement to keep himself alive. Brede and Shaiko die. It's Leaky Fact on the ground. He and Yuzis finished off, and Solotov will need to find his very first kill in a 1v3. Not a lot of time left to go. You know, he's isolated up on rafters, and they've got enough players there to deal with him. One unaccounted for. Where is he? Who cares? STK gets the final kill. That's a good round for Razah Company Academy as they get on the board.
Seems like an extremely linear push coming out from BDS. Very focused on both IT and rafters. They didn't have anybody coming through connector. They didn't have anybody coming in through Aqua either, at least from what I saw from our first-person POV. That straight-up garage-style push, I'm not a huge fan of. I feel it's often very difficult to get the defuse kit down. You know, the best plant spots top floor on Nighthaven are usually by the pillar if you're coming in through connector, or on the bomb chassis if you're coming in through Aqua. These are kind of the best plant spots you'll see teams going for. You've got to run across a large area of open space to get to either of those plant spots if you're just coming from rafters, if you're just coming from IT. And so you saw that BDS, they had those two openings. They had the IT door, they had the breach open, but funneling just through those two open doorways while the defense had so much cover to play behind, it just wasn't a recipe for success. Maybe that's got to be the game plan top floor. You know, you don't have a zombie, you don't have Mira. It's going to be really hard to hold down garage. Why don't you just give it up? Bait the attackers into taking it, maybe waste a little bit of time, but then once they take that map control, you can fight it pretty decently from back of sight. The Razah Company maybe have cracked the code. We'll see BDS in round number 6. They should get another crack at that. The bomb site will unlock for the final round of the half, but for now, they stick to the bottom floor. Some teams like to play all 3 sites regardless. I don't like that strategy on Nighthaven specifically, because the middle floor bomb sites on this map are quite bad. Like, storage is tough to hold, and then kitchen is just, like, impossible to hold.
You should tell the teams that.
Well, the teams already know. They're not playing those bomb sites. They're playing top and bottom.
You think it's because you told them?
You know, I think it's likely that the players of BDS came to the conclusion that Kitchen was a bad bomb site on their own. I don't know if my input was needed there.
I think you should think higher of yourself.
Okay.
Very curious as to what's going on Unwanted versus Joel on the other stream, by the way. We have been on Razah Academy duty, Jesse.
We have. We've not let anybody else cast them. We demanded we must cast every single round that SDK plays the Six Invitational. That's in our contract.
I don't think that's...
I made sure to put it in there.
Wow, you didn't even tell me about that. IT wall is soft. That gives an opportunity for Shaiko to open it up. SDK was hoping to net 1 kill from that. He doesn't find anything. Leakyfac, who's been having a great game so far, has a bad round. He dies. Solotov trades it right back and kills his nemesis. That's a nice act of revenge as Perez will die. That's Solus roaming on the main floor. God, that Deimos revolver is just so strong. In the hands of Shaiko, that's a scary thing. Absolutely zero recoil, and it does an incredible amount of damage. Shaiko gets 1 pick and was looking for the follow-up on STK above. He's finished off by Uses. So now there's only 2 that remain for Razah Academy. That's 4 from BDS.
5 is hunting. He's got to make some kind of a play. That'll do it. Diffuse kit. Still in the hands of Bride, but a pick nonetheless.
He doesn't know how close Shaiko is. He pops up and there's just no chance. Shaiko on a single point of HP. As Basetto is killless at the moment, well below his success that we've seen over the first 2 days of matches for his team. BDS looking at 3 rounds right now. Oh! But Basetto gets a kill with the Nitro Cell. A good call from his teammates sitting on cams. Shaiko hits a goo mine and he is precariously close to death. Both players drop in the same position and will now be hunted. Basetto sees 1 and he has to worry about 2 separate targets. Shaiko will get the job done himself. That's a 3K for Shaiko, is it not? Maybe a 2K.
I believe it was 3. It was 3.
Maybe it was a 3K. Maybe 2, maybe 3. What's the difference?
The reposition in that late round from Basetto, I think it would have been a nice reposition if the enemy didn't have active pings on him. We would have known exactly where that was. We had attack timeout from Razah Academy. We won't be able to hear what the coach is saying, partly because we're on the B stream, partly because they're speaking Portuguese.
I feel like the last one really enters things more than anything else.
Yeah, a couple of roadblocks there. Basetto getting his first pick in that last round. He was the last player to get off the donut in this game. He's been criticized a bit coming into this tournament. Obviously, their hard support. He never has the greatest of numbers, but he has been phenomenal through the Six Invitational so far. I think it's really been his turnaround that has led to the success of Razah Academy, specifically on defense. He has been absolutely nutty with a 2.00 kill death ratio on defense, top 5 in the tournament, matched only by Live, who's got a 2.17 in this game. We see a lot of good defensive play from Razah. Not in this game so much. It's a 3-1 lead on the attack for BDS, but through the last 2 days, Razah have been the single best defense team at the entire tournament, winning 72% of rounds that they play on the defense. As the sample size grows, you expect that to normalize a little bit, all closer to that center point of about 55-60% that defense usually sits at, but for the meantime, RCAC hold that title of the best defensive team. BDS are currently breaking it at the moment, though, and I think that comes down a little bit to the bans, a little bit to the map, and a little bit to the fact that you're going against Leakyfac in these 7-2.
I'm so tempted to directly contradict what you just said.
I'm glad you didn't.
Just to make you angry.
I'm glad you didn't.
And then smirk a little bit, and then watch you sit there and go. I guess people can't see what I just did.
No, you just made a face.
I made a face, but it was a good face. Tell the people.
I don't know about that. We do see ourselves on Storage, Parker. I said this bomb site's kind of bad. It's better than Kitchen. And the fact that they've lost Basement twice now, I don't mind them trying this one out. I think it's probably the right call here. Basement was not working. They tried a roam strat. They tried a bit of an anchor strat. Neither really came into fruition, so key things for this bomb site are usually open the IT wall, make sure there's nobody below, then jump and plant storage window. Here comes step 1.
Ooh. SDK wanted to bandit trick. He also probably didn't want to lose most of his HP in that interaction. Bully for him.
We can't always get the things we want.
They will open up IT wall. That's EFAC taking that job all on his own. And then they'll go to drone work with 1 minute burned off of the clock. Might be some problems that present themselves for this BDS team. First on intel gathering because of the mute. But then actually getting into the action because of Flastry's Fenrir being all over the map to deal with all those F-mines.
SDK rotated all the way to the basement. He's playing that with a Nitro Cell, too. LickyFax is going to go hunt him down through the vending stairs, but with that Logic Bomb wearing off very quickly, he's not going to have much information for that. A smoke gets tossed out. They have a lot more, so this is just a fake. Don't get caught off guard. That deals with the below threat. What did I say? Step 1, IT. Step 2, make sure there's no one below. Step 3, jump and plant storage window. We're on step 3.
What step of the plan is LickyFac killing everybody in every round?
That is part of step 2.
Got it. This could have been a botched opportunity. Things got a little scary for Brede as he walks in. EFAC taking no prisoners as well. Perez is upstairs all on his own. This looks like the BDS that we have come to see. Beautiful shot onto Uzis as he reads the drop. Perez will have to fight his way out of this position now as he's watched quite intently from top rafters. He loses the fight. BDS continue their winning ways. Timeout called by Razah Academy. Not paying off. This is BDS's map, after all, but BDS must be happy with all of the maps, especially that bank map, as you mentioned.
Parker, I don't say this lightly. That might have been the cleanest default storage take I've ever seen. They did everything right. They just checked the boxes, played that bomb site as the book says you should. It went perfectly. I love the blitz to jump on in and take that storage control. They made sure there couldn't be anybody below. They made sure you couldn't deny from above. The cover on IT window lost his fight. He lost his one, but it didn't matter in the end. That fight came way too late, and it was already a 1v5 at that point. LickyFac continued hitting the back after he cleared out that basement floor to get a second pick. He's now 9-2. What a great start for BDS. I mean, you really can't criticize anything they've done. The one round they lost, maybe the angle of attack wasn't quite right, but I mean, ultimately, that top floor is a very tough bomb site, even with the bans the way they are, and they've got a third shot at attacking it here. I expect we'll see a bit of a different direction coming from BDS now. Maybe if they want to try to push in through Connector, maybe Aqua. They've got a couple of options, but I assume it won't be solely focused around IT and Raptors this time around.
I don't really know what Razah Academy can do at the moment in regards to slowing down this BDS assault. The most noticeable part of this RCAC defense is that they keep trying to match up in opening engagements with the gunfire from BDS. They fall short every single time. Maybe play a bit more passive. Maybe your gadgetry is the issue at this point.
I feel like they're so readable. Like, everything Razah Company are doing, BDS know within the first 30 seconds of the round. Because it's like, they're playing pretty default setups. The castle setup in round number 1 was unique and new. Largely due to how the bands played out, but it wasn't particularly strong. Flores is getting good value despite not finding any intel there. Any bit of util clear there. But BDS are being allowed to grab exactly what they need. They're working for it nicely.
Oh.
And like SDK, like that could have been an opportunity to disrupt the game plan of BDS, but he just can't hit his shots.
Did you say Disrupt Gaming?
Goats.
I remember them.
I loved their branding. They need to be more yellow esports orgs.
I want more pink esports orgs.
Facts.
Give me a pink jersey. You give me a pink jersey, I'll wear it here. Oh my! So moments ago, I said that the problem that Razah Academy faced was that they couldn't match up against the early gunfire of this team of BDS. He'll get a secure now. Perez just got 2 kills. STK's felled. Perez goes down as well. Now it's just the support players for Razah Academy with a minute to go. Advantage favoring RCAC just based on HP. Uses has a read. There's 1 kill for live, answered back right away. 2v2. 45 seconds left. EFAC has been battling utility outside of that exact spot for so long. First it was the proximity alarms, now it's those F-Knots, the F-Mines, whatever you choose to call them.
What angle do they have to enter? I mean, all the walls are still closed. This is actually a good gap.
Plant going down, so EFAC with his 11 kills will need to hold this angle. Uzis gets away with the plants and loses most of his HP in the process. EFAC giving himself away as well. He's going to have to play a completely different angle as they sweep up on him. Firing to draw out the smoke. EFAC taking down Uzis as he'd been dropped. There's the pistol. He's got to go quickly. He won't get there in time to stop the counter disable. Flash Street all the time in the world to hop on, and a great distraction from the smoke. Give Razah Academy yet another round, but BDS could have easily won that one, and it would have been a 5-1 first half. Still, you got to be comfortable with 4-2 being the scoreline for the former French team.
Yeah, last round could have gone either way. Came down to the gunfights in the end there. EFAC just couldn't get it done. Some rare misses out of him. Seto will reign supreme on the day, but as you said, 4-2 half, you're not going to be upset about that if you're BDS. You got the job done. 4 pushes is more than enough to secure this game in the second half and take the series 1-2. With Razah Company moving on to attack, especially, this was by far their weakest side when they lost this map to Dark Zero. They had just a 29% attacking win rate 2 days ago against the North American squad. So there are some weaknesses in the way that they push this map. I'm sure BDS will have watched that game back and will have some setups to try to abuse those weaknesses. Again, you run into the problem with top floor of how do you hold down rafters. Not a lot of strong operators for that. BDS are going to do their best to keep it secured. You can't give it up entirely, but a lot of teams will, I think in this circumstance, choose to give it up at some point halfway through the round. Waste a bit of time with it. Razah Company defaulted to towards the end of that first half.
Let's go over towards the stats and look at who drew first blood most often. Well, would you believe it? It matches up perfectly with the scoreline, but not a 100% conversion rate. Rounds 3 and 4 are the opposing team that would go on to win the round drew blood first. First blood? Surely there's a more elegant way of saying that.
Parker,
Drew first blood first.
When you talk, it's always elegant.
It's the nicest thing you've ever said. That was a bad C4.
It's tough when there's lineups, too. Because that absolutely could have killed Flashtree. And
Should
kill Flashtree. I mean, I guess there's still ace charges, but like that would have been a massive help for this round.
My favorite part about that interaction was that Flashtree didn't move at all. Flashtree heard the C4 land and just stayed on the wall.
He knew at that point he's going to die getting this wall or not, and it was out of his hands at that point, so may as well just continue doing your job, you know?
I believe they say you let Jesus take the wheel.
Exactly.
Or in this case, Jesus takes the blowtorch. He was a carpenter.
Do they do carpentry with blowtorches?
No, but I think welding's not that much of a difference.
Okay. Sure.
Not a trades guy. I think that if Jesus were to come back and handed him a blowtorch, he would know exactly what to do with it.
I would trust him for sure.
I would trust him too.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're in agreement there.
I like live down below. You've got both Deimos and Buck below the site.
Just like they trusted Flashtree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To get the wall.
Forces here on Razah Academy, though, very well spread out, as you were noting. And you've got the Buck in a very powerful position. If BDS does not send somebody downstairs to deal with this, they are going to lose the comfort and safety very quickly. Oh! Shaiko engaging with Live. Live losing very little HP. That's an unfavorable angle for Live to take. All he's going to see is the head. If you miss the head, you lose the fight. Live did not miss that. And he's going to continue to be annoying for BDS down in this position. Shooting away at their feet, shooting away at their calves, keeping this BDS defense on the move. All the while, the remaining players from Razah Academy can get closer to the bomb site. It'll be Basetto holding on to that diffuser. He'll be shepherding it on in. You have to find more picks, though. You can't just rely on the Buck. Leaky Fact taking down Live, and a quick peek in from Perez. He's far removed from the next player from BDS. They trade back and forth. It's all up to EFAC in a 1v2. Diffuser going down. He hears it. But he tries to vault and got baited in. That's tough. That's very, very tough. Right as that disorienting wave was taking effect. It's a final kill from STK. Razah Academy are closing this gap.
That's a beautiful push. Obviously focused on that connector. I talked about the plant spots earlier in this game. They opted for the pillar plant spot initially, but their planter ended up going down. So what do? Well, they rotated some players in through IT. They late started to hit that north side of the map, and it really paid off. STK, I think he's got to get the bulk of the credit for finding that gap, walking up the garage stairs as well, providing that second dimension to the push, providing that second angle that BDS weren't expecting. So much pressure from Razah was being shown towards connector, was being shown towards pillar, that BDS were like, okay, this is where the push is. And they did not expect that flank coming in late round at all. Again, that's kind of the power of having two players below as well. You hear the buck down below, you know he's still beneath you. You can kind of safely assume, okay, well, there's nobody flanking if the one off-site guy, if the one off-push guy is below us. But there was two. And so when STK ran up those stairs, had that impact, that was massive for Razah. Team captain of Razah Academy as of the summer. In Stage 1 in Manchester, he was not the IGL. He was not the leader of this team. He took the reins halfway through this season.
It was Arthur, right, who was IGLing on that
Arthur,
old team? Yeah.
Who then left E1 to go to Los in North America, which did not go very well for him, to say the least.
I mean, you go with the big org. You're at least playing in NA, but yeah, I mean, that Los team has very pronounced issues. They're finding their way.
Yep.
I will say, Razah Academy are not struggling as much with opening up the windows as we saw from Secret yesterday.
It was a rough final map from Secret against Shopify Rebellion.
First two maps were excellent.
Excellent.
Cinema, as many would say.
Vigil of Leafac down below is being hunted by Razah. Got the Ram up above. They've got drones on him too. He's going to be in a lot of pressure here. He knows that it's going to be on him to get these picks by himself. He doesn't have any help around here.
EFAC trying to get his way out of his position, but it's a tough one. He gets hunted down, and Baseto finds him. STK gets another. Razah Academy are actually in excellent shape now to put this into a 4-4 scoreline, Jesse. All of a sudden, they're the formidable ones on attack, and this Nighthaven Labs is skewing towards the attackers in a hurry.
Yeah, the attacking lows that we had against Dark Zero just don't seem to be materializing for Razah, which is great news for any Brazilian fans. Now with a two-man advantage, I mean, the onus is on BDS. Do you try to make a play? You've only got one of your nitro cells that hasn't already been wasted. It's going to be tough to go for a flank at this point. It's going to be an EXO finish coming out from Razah, which is one of the strongest plant spots in the map. Intel's perfect. You see the drones lining up too. Shaiko needs to get a pick first.
BDS still has their timeout, by the way. Razah Academy burned theirs at the start of this match. So BDS still has an opportunity, if they so choose, to settle this down. Very first kill for BDS comes with 45 seconds left into the round. It's at the hands of the master himself, Shaiko. It's a bit of a quiet tournament up to this point. BDS can send those kills around, disperse them as they see fit. Use this missing an opportunity onto what appears to be STK. The way they're playing this is brilliant. It's like Frogger as they avoid the bullets. Shaiko and Bride now last two standing for BDS. Shaiko's in trouble. He might get spotted out. There's the diffuser. Just waiting for the sledge. Shaiko pops up. It was a game of keep away. All he needs to do is live for another second or so. Same with Bride. And the timer will give the round to BDS. I don't know if they deserved it, but they get it all the same. Hiding is not illegal, as we established yesterday. So Shaiko is no criminal. Maybe a smooth criminal with the way he played things out. But the elusive man waits until the dying moments of the round to stop the plant. Razah Academy never droned out the back of the site to find Shaiko's position.
Shaiko played that perfectly. He knew that was their only win condition, right? Being able to step up and first get that pick in the 4v5, making sure to make it a 3v4. So that the man advantage just wasn't as tight, and then hiding in the back of the bomb site. We see that play so commonly from teams, but the sledge up above, you saw him, he checked the corner, right? There's two positions that you can hide deep inside that bomb site if the main breach is closed. Of course, the first one is in the corner. It's a little bit safer. That's the most common spot because you can't get seen if the breach is slightly open. But Shaiko goes for the second most common spot. Thank you for our observer. Yes, right there on the yellow square. That's where most people will hide. Shaiko went behind the boxes instead. And that wasn't checked by the sledge that was playing up above. So that decision from Shaiko won them the round. I also want to give some credit to the Kaid in that last round, who kept that wall closed. The Seto on the Habana was outside the main breach, ready to make an angle, which would have killed Shaiko in that position. But a late round Electroclaw ended up going onto that main wall. Thank you again to our observer right there.
Our observer, by the way, is Nova. So thank you very much, Nova. Usus was the Kaid as well.
Thank you.
Thank yous us.
Oh, you should be a comedian, Parker.
No, that's, he plays for Shopify Rebellion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you see his biceps yesterday?
Yeah, he's getting fit.
Troy's a buff boy. Oh, no. No.
What's the goal there, right? I mean, maybe you can play close and try to get a rat spot, right? If there's nobody holding from the roof up there, but it's not like it's rare to see somebody on the roof holding that line. Like a little sloppy. Not dissimilar to what we saw from Razah at the start of this game.
There's no denial here from BDS, right? So my only guess is that you're expecting them to go in quickly, and you can maybe scare them.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe if Shaiko's lined up, the moment that breach opens, he gets a kill or two. That's huge value. But yeah, I mean, it's not like you're going to throw down a bunch of Legion mines, and then the wall just stays closed.
Be an interesting way to buff Legion. Not sure that Legion needs a buff.
I mean, he's a little strong. He's a little strong. His pick rate has been through the roof.
Yeah.
Oh, things go from bad to worse for this BDS team. Half of the round done. Nitro Cell tossed out by Solitov. Reckless abandon! And Perez gets all 5 kills! In the biz, we call that an ace. And it's a flawless bounce back from Razah Academy.
Young entry player for RCAC, Perez. Doesn't get a lot of talk, to be honest. More people need to keep their eyes on this guy. Youngest player on the team, grew up in the capital of Brazil, Brasilia, in the center of the country, and then managing to just make things happen over here on the East Coast of the United States in Boston. Always showing up for these big moments. He's been to a couple events before. This is not his first time on the big stage. He's so talented, bro. There's a reason they put him on primary entry. There's a reason they let him run around on demos more often than not. Didn't need it in that last round, but he has just been so good for Razah so far. The first 2 days of competition as well. He put up 46 frags and only 40 deaths. Second most kills of anyone on the team, just after Live.
Perez is a terrific player. 14 kills. Good lord. Leaky Fat came off a little hot at the start of this match, and then he's cooled significantly, Jesse. He broke 10 kills many rounds ago, and now he struggled as a defender. And I mean, this is an attacker-sided map at the moment. The way this is played out is very heavily favoring the attackers, which is good for Razah Academy. It was a bit odd since BDS picked this map. You'd think that RCAC would have started on attack, unless neither of these teams expected this to break in favor of the attackers. Fun little tidbit about Nighthaven Labs that we bring up quite regularly, and if you've heard us cast this, you've definitely heard it before, is that for a long period of time, over the last, say, year or so, this was statistically the most balanced map between attackers and defenders. Lately, it's skewed towards the defenders, but you're still going to have your games where the attackers triumph. We're witnessing one right now. That is a worrying predicament for BDS. This honestly could be a 5-4 game for Razah Academy, were it not for the game of hide and seek that Shaiko played.
Let's get into this top floor. STK is finding a lot of resistance. I'm not sure he can continue to push this. And you don't need to full clear top on this bomb site, but it can certainly help, especially if you want to go for a more control-focused execute. Got a great drone in sight too, so why not try to take advantage of that? Won't stop STK from going down first, though. That utility will clean up on the blitz. Makes a little bit awkward now. Another for Leaky Fact. My God. Just as you talked about him.
I cast her cursed him.
You did.
But the other way.
You cast her blessed.
I cast her blessed him. Cast her cursed or the broadcast bless. Which one is it?
I like the broadcast blast.
You gotta get a little alliterative here. Leaky Fact is obviously feeling it because he's fishing for another kill. Down inside of storage. You got Brede for backup. He's flashed down. Flastry's on the ground. Shaiko's there for insurance policy. Did we see another flawless round? This time for BDS, though. Yes, we will. Solitov taking an awful lot of damage, but ultimately persevering. On those rafter stairs, and it's map point for BDS. What do we talk about? We talk about how attacker-sided it is. What happens? BDS wins as defenders. We talk about how Leaky Fact's gone kind of quiet. What happens? He gets 2 kills. And they're the two, probably the most important, that knocked Razah Academy off stride. Every single thing we said went the complete opposite in that round.
BDS will do that to a caster, especially when you're trying to talk negative on what is arguably the best team in the world. Back-to-back major finalists looking to make a deep run here in Boston. And now, despite their rough start yesterday, having a pretty good start early in the morning in game number 2 for the primarily French squad. One more round is all it'll take, and they'll get to go to the 2 best bomb sites. They can go basement and then straight up to top floor for the final round, if they do need so. That last win came on storage, which is, again, kind of a tough bomb site to win sometimes. But with it off the board, it locked for the next couple of rounds. They can kind of go to the more favorable sites to try to end this game quickly. Last time their basement roam got annihilated. It was Leaky Fact on the Vigil that found a lot of problems. Solitov went down right after him. They've swapped the ops a little bit. Solitov picking up the Vigil and gonna rock the Boss G despite the nerfs. We do see teams still trying to run this operator. The Boss G is a very good gun if you're talented.
Here's a fun little quirk of this match, Jesse.
Tell me.
Of all 4 rounds that Razah Academy has won, they have all been on the exact same site.
Really?
Command center and servers on the top floor. RCAC won it twice when they were defenders. They won it twice as attackers. That's the only bomb site that they've been able to win. Every other site that's been played has been won by BDS either on attack or defense. That is quite a sobering statistic if you come to think about it. Now up to BDS to just simply not go to that bomb site anymore.
Comes down to the bans, too, again. I mean, I keep bringing it up, but Razah Company had the final ban. They chose to take out the mirror. They probably predicted the Islami ban from BDS.
Another Perez ace, by any chance?
We're 1 kill in. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
I choose not to count chickens to begin with. Hatched or unhatched.
You've been big into birds today. I don't know what you, Parker.
I do love birds.
Yeah.
One day you don't care about birds. And then the next day you're walking through the woods and you go, is that a red-breasted warbler?
What happened to you?
That is exactly what happened to me, yes. I was on a nature walk in Vancouver. Down goes Solitov to live, and this is a great start for Razah Academy, now facing a loss here on BDS's map.
3v5 man count disadvantage with Shaiko alive on the basement of Nighthaven Labs. Surely there's no way this could... Ooh, wait, happened last time?
It did happen last time.
Uh-oh.
Uses his flanking now. Uh-oh, you got to go quickly. Nice pre-fire by Flastry. He seemed to have a premonition that one of the defenders was nearby. Now, intel will be hacked by the Dokkaebi too, so with a nice 1-2 punch here from the Brazilian team. Dan Shaiko, just as it was before, on this bottom floor to hold off. Thing is, they haven't done a single point of damage to Razah Academy. Nitro Cell gets shot away at by the Buck Live, dies shortly thereafter. Hold on! Oh my, they almost clean up more than one. It's up to Brede to clutch. For the longest time, he was the clutch minister. Does he have what it takes still? He's given his position away. Attempting to soften up these players. Seto gets diffuser down while STK and Flastry distract. Brede's got the right read. But he's going to rely on Razah Academy to peek him. Flastry does. And wins the round off of it. One more of regulation. Jesse, we joked yesterday that every single match we've had has gone almost all the way feels like it might be happening again. Is this a timeout by BDS? Yes, it is.
About time. Obviously, match point is secured, but they don't want to have to face an overtime up against Razah Company. They'd likely be starting on the defense, and this game's been somewhat attacker-sided so far, so makes sense to call it now, try to get the job done. You got a bit of a question mark on your hands. You don't want to go to top floor because it's the only site that RCAC have been winning consistently. You don't want to go to basement because you've just lost it in the previous round, and your roam game has been getting annihilated both times that you played it. You can't go to storage because it's locked. And kitchen is just a terrible site. So you don't have many good choices here if you're BDS.
Well, you can't go to command center servers because prior to that round, it's the only place that RCAC had won on.
Yeah.
That eliminates that right then and there. Damn, I lost the rest of it. I was gonna copy everything you said. Just to get under your skin. This was a great play by Flastry, by the way. His utility, his objective work, his droning, and then his follow-up in the post plant was extraordinarily good. He and STK played that perfectly, showing just the right amount of patience to frustrate Bride, who knew he had to go to the actual objective. Oh, no. Jesse, what bomb site is it?
I mean, it's top, and if, again, like, they had no good options. I think this is the right call. Kitchen is so bad. And the basement, the roam was so bad. I mean, you've got to do this. You've got to commit to playing top again.
Kitchen was not played, by the way, by either of these teams so far today.
It's not a fun decision to make if you're BDS, but I think it's the right call. I think this gives them the best chance of success. They're going to rely on Bride playing the Clash to try to turn the tides. I don't believe they had this previously. He tried to hide throughout the prep phase so he couldn't get droned out. Would be a big moment for him to step up and slow down the Razah squad. They really heavily focus that connector side of things. Putting a shield on this. This is an interesting place to put a deployable shield. The room?
Does he know if you can? That's
not sure if you can. I've never seen it.
He destroyed all those electronics for nothing.
Making a mess.
We are eco-conscious here. He didn't even recycle them. Look at all those lithium-ion batteries discarded into the regular garbage.
All the digital birds are going to be in such a tough spot now.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, they will be. Oh, my. Live at the read on Leaky Fact as we now turn our attention towards this matchup. Coming to potential conclusion. Damos has a read on 4 of the 5 operator identities as Leaky Fact collects kill number 15. He and Perez both tied at that number. Terrific performance for both of them. Leaky Fact's job will get a little bit harder now, as he'll be watched by STK's Deathmark, but there are mute jammers scattered around the map. Some solace here for BDS.
Nope, no solace.
That's not how I use the word. You know that solace is S-O-L-A-C-E.
I can't spell. Rainbow Six
Actually,
Siege
no, you
Caster.
cannot spell.
Man disadvantage. You've got to find a pick at some point if you're Razah, especially with that clash on the board. Getting some good util or some intel from this IQ down below. I'm a little interested to see STK still sitting on the roof with that Damos. Usually it's not, but you'd see go on the bottom floor. He's got pings on all 5 players, so he could track anybody in the server. He thinks about rotating below, still considering it. I don't love the idea of walking into a shotgun held by Uzis, so I really kind of hope he moves down below. Could also jump in the window, I suppose, if they want to focus more on the rafter side of things.
STK finally got his man. EFAC dies. Shaiko trades out Basetto. Things not great at the moment for Razah Company Academy. You've got 2 players now stacked up side by side on rafters. This bomb site has a 100 success win rate, or a 100% win rate, and a 100% success rate for Razah Company Academy. What a time it would be for BDS to break that trend line, and it looks like they just might do it, Jesse. It's all up to Perez, who's been simply fantastic, but he had too many foes to fight through, and he cannot get the job done. BDS prevail on their own map, but RCAC made them work for it. The European squad up 1-0.
Good things happen when you listen to your captain. Leaky Fact, a fantastic game here, especially in that first half, getting the early lead in for BDS. 15-8 is his final stat line. Shaiko steps up big time at the end to really lock down this one and make sure overtime is not on the cards for Razah Academy. That was their map pick on the side of BDS, so it's not a devastating loss from RCAC, but Bank awaits us on the other side of this break, and that is a scary map to play against BDS.
Tap, yeah, I want that. No lines, I don't cut back. Sweet, salty, and all that. Let loose, come get that. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Ooh, you feel that? Ooh, the real back. Ooh, I'm still that. Ooh, you catch that? Ooh, I guess that. The best back. Yeah, yeah. 30,000 up, I'm a pilot. Might jump out if I'm wildin'. Catch my flow, I'm so stylish. Tap, tap, real smooth. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go.
There is a fine line between ambition and greatness. The only thing harder than getting to the top is staying there.
Nice shot by Nade. Army crawling his way. Turns to answers back, but Nade! Excuse me!
Handy. Nade. Oh! Shuts down his brother! Into red time we go. Where's the response? The gap was through.
Have you ever noticed that nobody ever asks, when does Ashen play? That's because when SSG hit the stage, people generally know.
Second! And the counter disable to win the round, and has done very little since. Oh my goodness, Benjamaster with two.
This is gonna stick for SSG, Daz. It is, and look at the cover. J9 is there. Back room, it's killed 4. This is it. You look at both sides, and you think there's somebody who's gonna step up, get slippy, finds himself a second, Daz. Making a third. It's a 3-kill.
The king without a crown. BDS have conquered a continent.
Fire was the best console that we've seen. Oh my, always is a target.
This can be made successfully.
Information from the bees. It goes in. Shocker.
And he swings on to Dodes. Vintage Breeding showing up, running out of time.
Round in the corner, bees. Information. Shaiko pushing for it. Nath is there.
This team has talent, experience, style, and a fish.
Reaps in the 1v1. Relocating towards Raptor. Reaps, what a swing and a quad. Disgusting quad.
Being round to Buck. They will get the plant down. Leader again taking another 1v1. He knows the plant is close and he gets the headshot kill.
But he'll move in, and it doesn't matter because never mind. Time, right? He's got to push forward. Reaps might be able to hop up before he gets there. Force printing up. He doesn't know. The 1v2.
BDS wins their own map, as a lot of us expected. Now the question becomes, what does Razah Academy do on their own map of Bank? That first map, though, of Nighthaven Labs went the distance. It was a 12-round screamer, Jesse, and back and forth contest between both teams, just as we expected. But BDS was the better team. Leaky Fact was quite the monster on the side of BDS. As for Razah Academy, the man of the hour was Perez. Try as he might, he couldn't will them to a victory. What's your takeaway here on that Nighthaven Labs we just witnessed?
My takeaway, Parker, is that BDS are just a better Nighthaven team. You know, their pushes, especially on, you know, a map like, or up on site like Storage, were better put together, better fundamentally. We saw some good stuff from Razah down in the basement and on the top floor for sure, but round after round in the clutch moment as well, BDS played some great Siege. It did come down to a couple of scary moments. Shaiko had to save the day on a number of occasions, but he stepped up and he saved it when he had to. Early round, as you mentioned too, Leaky Fact, absolutely a hero in this game. So map number 2, I think, should be a closer affair. It was chosen by RCAC. We talked about it a little bit in the map ban phase, but I'm going to reiterate the stat that I mentioned. It has been 2.5 years since BDS last lost this. I guess 1.5 years. I can't count. 1.5 years since BDS last lost Bank. They're on a 13-game win streak on this next upcoming map. It's going to be a tall task, but Razah Company think they're up for it.
Think they're up for it what? You ended on a high note, which makes it seem like you're going to go somewhere else. Like there was more to come.
Will they be up for it is the question.
There you go.
Just a pause.
It's like that scene from The Office where Dwight gets concussed.
You're saying I'm concussed? I might be.
I mean, sometimes when I listen to you, I wonder. What was this man talking about?
Bank
I was talking about birds earlier.
Labs won by BDS. Bank hoping to be won by Razah Academy, as it is their pick. Onslaught would be up on deck if it ends up being a 1-1 series, and I think you'd expect a 1-1 series coming into this matchup, just given how good Razah Company have looked throughout this tournament thus far. They're obviously undefeated so far, not in maps. Of course, they just lost, but they've lost maps on previous days of SI as well. But 2-0 as far as the series are concerned. BDS 0-for-1 to begin the tournament. We've got a bye upcoming from Razah Company, soon to be. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow.
They've
or the
played 3
next
days
day.
in a row. They've got to have a day off.
Yep. Maybe they're the one team who play 5 games. They play a special bonus team.
I don't think that's true. I don't think so either. The real Razah Company shows up.
The main team from Razah Company.
They get helicoptered in.
I mean, Razah's here with a couple of his buddies. I'm sure they could put together a 5-man stack.
True. I saw some chatter, by the way, about... Oh, BDS is gone. I saw some chatter, by the way, about the choice of music. Boston has a great jazz scene. And going on with the Roaring 20s Art Deco style that we've got, which honestly I think is one of the best styles that we've ever had for any event.
Yep.
I love jazz.
Yeah.
I love it. I like funk. I like jazz. A little bit of blues, a little bit of soul. Reminds me of the band Wolfpack.
Yep.
This does sound very Wolfy. For the dozens of people currently watching, hopefully one of them appreciates Wolfpack. His live album, Clarity of Cal, actually just came out a couple days ago.
Shout out.
Shout out. They don't pay my bills. I'm just a fan.
The players, I do not believe, get to enjoy the smooth jazz that we get to enjoy.
I don't think they hear it. Could you imagine if this music was piped in while they were gaming?
Well, listen, they pipe in white noise through those over headphones when they're on stage at the very least, that you can't hear the crowd giving you call-outs and such like that. So what if they just replace the white noise with smooth jazz?
This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of the song.
If RCAC
It sounds so good. I'm just enjoying the music right now.
win this matchup, they are almost guaranteed to be first place in their group.
Production, could you turn the music up a bit?
There's no way they're gonna. You're unbelievable.
I'm vibing. You hear that saxophone?
I can't lie, the sax goes kind of hard.
Finally, we agree on music, so you listen to AI slop.
Do not listen to AI music. You can't keep saying this on broadcast like it's a fact.
It will eventually become true. This part right here. It's the best part of the song.
BDS not quite in danger of being eliminated. Obviously, they've only played one game. But...
And they're leading this series right now.
I know, but they are 0 for 1. They are at the bottom of their group at the moment, so that thought starts to creep in a little bit. If this game goes to a third map, I don't want to overhype it. Remember, only last place in the group does actually get eliminated. The top 4 teams from the group will go to playoffs. How it works, if you get first place, you get a bye after the first round. If you get second place, you get to choose your first round opponent out of the third place teams. And if you get fourth place, you go to playoffs, but you start in the lower bracket. So you're in a very scary position. You only have 1 life.
And if you finish in 5th place, they shove you into a cannon and shoot you back to your country.
What if their country is the USA? Back to your state, I guess.
I don't think anybody's actually from Boston.
I don't think anybody's from Boston. The players filled out a survey letting us know where some of them were from before the game.
I mean, even if they were from Boston, I suspect that a cannon could probably get you to your place pretty quickly.
The one player who I wasn't sure on, the one player who answered the survey in the most annoying way was Yaga, who said that he was from the town of Marion. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he didn't say what state the town is from, and there's like 9 Marions in the USA, and one of them's in Massachusetts, so he might be a hometown hero. I can't confirm.
Have you consulted with his Wikipedia page?
You think that says hometowns on it? I promise you it does not. Otherwise, there's definitely no other players who answered who
Where is Yaga from?
A near location.
Where is Yaga from?
Parker, I got great news.
The game is ready.
The game is ready. We don't have to talk about where Yaga's come from anymore on this game of Razah Academy.
Hey, it's not about where Yaga's come from. It's where he is now.
Okay.
Where he is now is competing at the Six Invitational. Our second map is ready. We were waiting on BDS to get back, and they finally did. It is time for us to get into Bank. BDS with quite the commanding lead through the social vote.
Razah Academy will get the first ban, and they've got a couple of options. They banned the Blackbeard on map number 1. I would kind of expect that to be repeated here on Bank. They've banned Blackbeard previously on Bank. And again, BDS are a great Blackbeard team. We saw that yesterday in their matchup against Dark Zero with Usis debuting that operator. So I'm going to predict the Blackbeard ban. How does he do it? He looks at the numbers.
You're so good.
For BDS, they've got a lot more options. I don't know if they're going to go back to the back-to-back shield bans. I'm thinking maybe a Ying would make sense for this. I think this is the hardest ban to predict. Because the BDS play this map so often, they ban so many different operators. It's kind of ridiculous. It will be the Ying, though. Okay, I'll take that. 2 for 2, then. On defense, Valkyrie is always a really strong ban on Bank. We could see another zombie ban coming through, as we did see that banned out in the last map. Valkyrie be my pick if I've got to pick something. Kaid could be banned as well, although Razah tends to ban Kaid on this map, so it kind of feels bad if you take that ban if you're BDS. To go for the Azami. I mentioned her, but she wasn't my first pick, so I won't count that as a correct prediction. And then Razah Academy, I'm going to lock in the Kaid here. That tends to be the operator that they ban on Bank. They take the Valkyrie. All right.
While we get underway with this, just for those of you wondering what the landscape of the groups look like, these teams are both in Group C. Razah Academy is actually at the top of their group right now with 7 points. BDS only has a single point, and that's because, unfortunately for them, they only mustered up a single map against Dark Zero yesterday. Razah Academy is a 4-1 map score at the moment. At the bottom of this group is PSG Talon. And unfortunately, they, along with Scars and Team Joel, are 3 APAC teams that are all currently in the elimination section of their groups. Now, still plenty of time for these teams to get out of the basement. Team Joel has their hands full against Unwanted over on the A stream. Unwanted is the team that was once known as Beast Coast, then was known as Cloud9 Beast Coast, before being released from their roster. Beast Coast merged with M80, if memory serves correctly.
Yep.
Scars is Scars. You know them from Japan. The only other APAC team that is here is Kag Osaka, CAG, a.k.a. Cyclops. They're in second place in their group. 1 point back of FaZe Clan in first. It has been quite the event so far for CAG. BDS very good on this map. We've talked about it many, many times. How do things start for Razah Company Academy?
They start as a basement defense, as they often do. We've got a bit of a roam game, though, coming out here, which could provide some early action. STK playing top floor alongside Live and Perez, who are remaining on these staircases. They brought the castle barricades to try to maintain control of open area for a little bit longer. Often the goal for players inside of open on this roam is just to shoot some drones and waste a bit of time, show a bit of presence, make it so it's not completely free to clear out the top floor. But with a castle and a Jaeger on the board, that's two operators that don't really have any way to deny the plant. Perez and STK could choose to get aggressive because if they're just sitting back a site, they can't get much done. Did STK just replace up that castle barricade on the printer door after Solotov destroyed it with the Flores drone?
I mean, you got 4 of them. Why not?
I guess big things come from bold
wanted
decisions.
it there.
He did.
I mean, it is actually kind of smart if you think about it. If somebody destroys something, then you immediately replace it. Are you going to necessarily keep that in your mind when you go to take a part of the map? No, not necessarily. You shoot an EDD off a door or a Capcan trap, and then somebody replaces it, or you throw a Valkyrie camera in a position after it gets shot by a Twitch drone. You're not going to think to double-check that. You're just going to assume that the job has been done.
Well, it goes unpunished, so no harm, no foul. Smoke inside of elevators, drops out Live. Knows better than to lose his life here on a roam. The Jaeger goes down, okay. If the castle goes down, okay. If the smoke goes down, uh-oh. Everybody gets back to site, though, for Razah Company. A lot of these hatches left soft, so Liquefac on the sledge, a rare operator coming out from him. We'll get to do a lot of the work on these hatches. That mirror window is going to make it awkward to breach into sight. I think Usus on the Maverick should be able to get it done. But you're a little bit exposed when you do that if you go for a server plant. They've also got a lot of can openers, though, so it might end up just being a hatch drop. They might not even enter into server the whole round.
Some expert work being done here on the hatch. Live sustaining quite a bit of damage from Liquefac. Do not want to lose your smoke early on, especially with all 3 of those toxic canisters in pocket. This first round has gone by so quickly. Final 30 seconds for these two teams to wrestle with one another. All 10 players still alive in the server as well. Grenade will go out. I think the ADS caught both of them, so for the time being, SDK will be fine inside of red. The dance that we talk about is happening. I don't know how BDS wins this. They're going to have to run right in, take a lot of damage. There goes EFAC, there goes Shaiko, there goes Solotov. Brede getting the plant down, Uses as good as dead. It's all up to Brede in a 1v4, and he dies. Yeehaw!
What are we, Cowboys?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Hey, it was a good
There
setup.
was a hoedown in the middle of the server.
It was, Parker. It was a great setup from Razah Company. They clearly knew exactly what BDS wanted to do in that round. Those ADS is set up so perfectly. Must have come off a bit of bother view again. BDS play this map all the time, so it's somewhat easy to read into them. I say that. They've got multiple strats on multiple sites, so it's not like it's free, but even still, Razah Company setting up those ADSs, keeping that mirror window position safe. I felt like BDS really relied on clearing that out because that player behind the mirror window got so much good work in round number 1.
Sounds like Joel and Unwanted is in the first round of Cafe, at least what we can hear from Xenox on the other stream. Yeah, I mean, when you're attacking that bottom floor, Jesse, there's a lot of things that you need to do that BDS fell short of. I think you covered it pretty well, but to me, I think BDS was hoping Razah Company Academy would give them more of an opening. I don't think they expected a 5-man bunker defense. And, I mean, if you get a bit restless as defenders, you might overextend. We saw that there was a roam for Razah Company Academy, but like a lot of teams, you're going to hold the middle floor for about a minute and a half, and then you fall back. Excellent timing by the Brazilian team. BDS just had nothing to answer it. Ultimately, it was a very good round for both teams. Razah Company reacted effectively to BDS. BDS couldn't really do much, and defenders are in such a strong position more often than not. And that's just the way she goes.
It's going to be important to get an early lead here on Bank, obviously, on the defense for Razah Company. This is where they want to grow that lead. Although their attacks were pretty decent on that second map, I got to say. Yes, they went 3-3 on Nighthaven Labs earlier today, but could have easily gone 4-2 and forced an overtime if Shaiko didn't get a massive clutch down on the basement. So this game, it is absolutely close. Good work from LickyFac on the Twitch. Well, I say that. There we go. Cleared out the Electroclaw now. A second one gets placed down from Flashtree, though. So, yeah, more work to be done on this wall. They really would like to get it open. It creates a great angle if you can breach it with a Hibana or with an Ace. So you can see all the way down the hallway from the lobby rappel. Super common setup that we see from a lot of attackers, and uses is set up straight to do that. But he can't, as long as that Kite Claw is sitting on the Kanto wall.
I'm not usually a fan of call-in, call-outs by players' names, but I still refer to that as Kanto as well, just about how memorable he was in that position when he was with G2 on that Echo, and he double reinforced and then put up yokai drones, so he was quite well protected. That should take care of the Electric Claw, but the thing is that the Kaid was actively holding that position. When none in pocket, Flashtree has to scamper away. That should get the wall open more than enough. They'll force those defenders in the hallway out of their position as well. STK roaming down below, he might catch them off guard, but his main target's going to be Amonti, and that Boss G will do nothing against the Mountain Shield. Flashtree eliminated by Uzis. BDS striking first in this round. After how poorly last round went. Gotta find some footing for BDS. They do just that.
This is not easy for STK.
I don't even, what do you do here?
He's just going to try to rant. There is a guy over ATMs. It's going to be LickyFac. He doesn't seem to know that this player is here, though.
They're like, he just hasn't gone. Okay.
This is such a ratty play.
I would be furious. He gets both! Excuse me! An upside-down repel from Uzis in an unconventional spot as Bride is taken out by the flank of STK. A huge gamble by Razah Company Academy. Shaiko is just, he's something else sometimes. He and Uzis making quick work of the remaining defenders on site, and now it's all up to Pasetto. With the UMP, no deaths to be had. 2 kills to his name. Pasetto slaughtered by Shaiko. I don't even think he knew what happened. The only thought going through his head was in the form of a bullet. BDS tie the game.
Shaiko is so good at playing Deimos.
Dude,
walking
I know,
in top
right?
Square. Yeah. I mean, even when STK goes for a... Are you good?
Put your mic closer to your mouth.
Goes for a crazy flank inside of lobby. I mean, we get to see a round that should have been Razah Company's. They have this massive advantage. But Shaiko walks in, it's a 2v3, it doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He's going to take these names all for himself, and there's a reason he's often considered the greatest player who have never won a hammer. So consistent, so talented. He's been their best player through the tournament so far. And he continues that streak here through both maps 1 and 2. He was the second highest fragger in map number 1. Map 2, he's making the plays that are winning rounds.
I hope at this point in time in the event, teams aren't sleeping on this Razah Company Academy roster. I feel like they, Joel, and Unwanted are given a little bit less respect because of their org situations. Razah Company Academy used to be E1, Joel used to be Bleed, Unwanted used to be Cloud9 Beast Coast. Unfortunately, they were not able to secure organizations as quickly as, say, Shopify Rebellion were when Sonics dropped them just a couple months ago. It doesn't change their ability to win games. And I feel like because they were E1, because of their lack of success at the Manchester Major, because of how stacked Brazil is, a lot of teams were looking at Razah Company Academy as a freebie. That's obviously very far from the truth here. Not only is this Brazilian team that came through the LCQ and first in their group, they almost stole BDS's map away from them. And this could be a 1-0 for Razah Company Academy if a round or two breaks differently on map number 1. Obviously, that's just theory crafting because it's not the case. BDS is in the lead, and BDS winning 2-0 is still very much in the cards. But time and time again, I wonder if teams discredit the potential of this Brazilian squad, and it's to their undoing. BDS, though, taking matters seriously on this round. Adrenal Surge goes off, and Brede will look inside of Janitor. He missed out on the mute. As a Nitro Cell goes up towards the door, Flastry dies to Solitov. Brede thought he had an opportunity. He misses the fallback and has now cleared out some of the top floor with Leaky Fac on shield as well, hunting down these players. It's got them on the run. That's a great roam clear for BDS.
Yeah, really fast to force those players out. You don't lose anybody. A little bit of health on Solitov, but you'll take that. Good blitz work from Brede, of course, playing that really passive. Doesn't want to overextend himself. Doesn't want to commit to that play just to try to get a kill. He knows that he's more valuable alive so that he can get that information for his teammates and keep causing space. 2 shields, by the way, on this top floor after Razah banned out the Blackbeard. Likifac and Brede both bringing these. It's rare to see Likifac on a shield, but on the Monty, he can still he can really focus on IGL shot calling for the team. So there's a lot of value in that, and he's got the defuse kit too, so he can put down that kit when he wants to. 5 hiding in the smoke. It's going to be a stock drop, and they don't have a ton of time to do it. One more smoke on Brede. As soon as that comes out, that will likely signify the play, but STK might have just thrown a wrench into this plan.
Well, that flank through main lobby was the problem that the Monty had to deal with previously. Leaky Fac having a very bad start to this matchup. Shaiko with one more Adrenal Surge to get Brede back to half HP, or at least as close to it as possible. Vigil was a major thorn in the side in the previous round. Now it's Live's turn to do some serious damage. Staring down open area, not quite in the bomb site just yet. Uses is going to be very vulnerable now as he goes for a vault in over towards Printer. They'll have to cover Brede with Diffuser. Solitov and Brede both slaughtered by Live and Perez. And for the 3rd round, we're going to see BDS wrestle with the clock. They were much better with it in round number 2, but rounds 1 and 3, just a bit too slow. And honestly, credit again goes to the roam of Razah Academy. The roam in the previous round was great. It didn't obviously pan out for them. Round number 1 was a bunker strategy where they held long enough to get back to the bomb site safely. This time, they assembled their forces all over the map. 3 very separate defenses from the Brazilian team. It's going to keep BDS guessing, and you can see the frustration on some of their faces. EFAC in particular, with 0 kills at this point. Well, after his performance in map number 1 and after his comments yesterday on broadcast, you got to know this might start to eat away at him if he's not able to hit the scoreboard soon.
Even still, though, I mean, I feel like their roam clear with the double shield, they got that space with decent time, 1:30. And they just sat still with it. How long were we watching Brede just sit on those main stairs playing on that blitz? It didn't feel like anything else was really getting accomplished, and it's not always easy trying to convert down onto that open area bomb site, but you've got to be able to get it done. We'll see that again likely in round number 6 as Razah Company go down to the basement for the 2nd time. Similar setup, almost identical with these castle barricades being set up by Flastry this time around. And Perez using those Jaeger ADSs down on that bottom floor. STK will be bringing the Two-Brow, and he's likely going to try to use that first Zoto canister to just stall out the clear of open area. That stock hatch can often be the target for Two-Brow players that want to extend open.
I do like Two-Brow as an operator a lot. I like what he brings to the table. We saw EDS play this operator twice. The very 2 defenses that they had on Nighthaven Labs, but that was the only time he popped up. Two-Brow has a good place on that map because of all the exterior walls that need to be opened. Those Zoto canisters are excellent at impeding the movement, not just in terms of breach potential, but also just the general movement, because it slows you down, shows your footprints, freezes you out, makes you cold, makes you shiver.
Does make you a little chilly, you know, it kind of slows you down in that sense too. You've got to put on a coat, your mittens, your boots before you can keep going through the rounds. So.
Actually pause the game so they can do this.
Yeah.
Get a live tracker on the Two-Brow. Shaiko's been loving this Deimos operator. Thing is that the track works both ways. STK knows the general whereabouts of Shaiko. With how well these teams know the map. Right now, being inside of Archives, you know exactly where he is. Wall into the bomb site being opened up down in servers as we hit the halfway point of round number 4.
Wasn't reinforced at all, which is somewhat interesting. Wasn't reinforced, wasn't opened up, but able to be breached by Brede just the same. Those X-Kairos will go off and create that plant position from Bird.
not Bird.
No, as we established in map 1.
Birds aren't real, but Brede is.
This
This is a nice long line of sight that Uses has.
Yeah. Be a standard old push here. The Toxic Babes start to come out. We play this game, Parker, that we always love to play.
Rainbow Six.
Nope. Stall at the utility. But also, I mean, fight these roamers. STK and Paras are still top floor.
For what it's worth, STK is the only operator with a Nitro cell. So we talk about this dance to get the diffuser down. The fact that he's nowhere near the bomb site, that's bad. Perez is going to get caught out on a flank. The ace of Leaky Fact not looking in his direction. No! That one's going to haunt him tonight. Shaiko dies as well to STK. They were fighting each other above. The back in from Brede to get diffuser down. Basetto and Perez are the two that should be near the bomb site as long as Perez can drop down. Nobody's watching Basetto. He army crawls his way to the kill. That's diffuser surrendered as well in the middle of the bomb site. Uses fires back, but the last two players from Razah Academy just need to sit and wait. Can they get the kills in time? They don't have diffuser on the 1 second mark. It's Perez coming back to the site, but Uses with the sidearm gets the job done, and BDS wins a head scratcher of a round.
Jesus, Uses, what was that? Moving all around the bomb site to make sure that the fuse kit went down. That's problem solving 101 at its finest from BDS. It was not clean, it was not easy. Razah threw so many wrenches into that plan, and it didn't always look like BDS were ready for them, and they didn't always have that catch to be expecting it every single time. But Uses stepped up big time in that 2v2, found the final frag with the pistol, got that trade onto Basetto, played so well start to finish in that round. That's impressive stuff. That is how a player plays when they can make a deep run at an event like the Six Invitational.
Very, very impressed with Perez, but Basetto has very sneakily been my favorite player on Razah Academy. Yeah, he's had some rougher games, but on the role that he plays, this middle floating flex, sometimes follow-up entry that we see him on, he doesn't necessarily need to gain a lot of value in kills. But he repeatedly does. Whether it be on a secondary hard breach or on attack, whether it be now on that support-oriented castle that we will see him play, he's a glue guy. Holds the team together.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, he's been fantastic. Even in the categories you don't expect him to be fragging off, especially on defense. 2.0 KD ratio, as I referenced earlier on. Basetto's been a real team player for Razah Company, and he's a big reason why they're 2-0 so far in the group stage. Gonna have to see some big stuff out of him on defense now. He's 5-2, definitely putting up the numbers, but they will need more out of him and the rest of the team as they go back to the top floor. This was a really nice clear from BDS last time we got to the site. There were some shenanigans with the Vigil down in lobby, but beyond that, it was pretty textbook from BDS, with Shaiko having some big moments on the Deimos.
You got it.
I got there.
You got there eventually.
I like this positioning from Liquefac as well. He's down bottom main stairs. Could have a huge impact if he walks up that staircase late. Don't expect it. Goes for a track with that Jackal too. Can get some extra information.
Lots of drones on the side of BDS. Not only do they still have 7 regular drones remaining, but those Twitch drones and Rotero drones are going to do an excellent job of gaining some information. At this point, they are all out. They'll have to rely on regular drones, but still, tons of info that BDS can play off of. They've also got the Jackal. On a map like Bank, with how big this map is, you need information. Every map needs information. Let's not fool ourselves here. But on Bank, where teams can put roamers in positions you don't expect, where they can drop hatches and go for late flanks, and teams will regularly do this, intel becomes the name of the game. Shaiko on that Flores is having a bit of a slow start to this series. He wasn't great on map 1, and he's less so here on map 2. Razah Academy absolutely dominating the kill feed right now. Jesse Brede and Solotov will join Shaiko in the afterlife. 3 players in the grave. Leakyfac can use this to try to clutch this out. Leakyfac still searching for his first kill, by the way. He has yet to get one here on Bank. Uses his outside, and with 40 seconds left, I wonder if he's going to take a tactical timeout up top. I think he must know that this is incredibly hard. First opponent inside of stock trading. Oh, maybe. Wait a moment. 30 seconds left, and he's in a 1v2. This is now winnable. Very, very winnable for Uzus. Much more winnable than it was moments before. We've complimented Razah Academy on their patience an awful lot. Uzus has lots of information, but now he's running out of time. He doesn't have intel. And the last player of Flastry, who makes him pay for it. Very nearly a 4K for Uzus, and a round that could have swung in BDS's favor because of one man's heroics. It wasn't to be, though. And in the first half of their map, Razah Academy take 3 rounds and have an opportunity to take a 4th.
Uzus is one of those guys who can take any round and make it look winnable. Close, but no cigar. It was STK that was the real MVP of that round. A triple kill, of course, being put up by him, the captain of Razah Company. Some big moments, some good adaptations. They were much more ready for the square push that came out from BDS. That's what they went for last time with Shaiko having such a huge impact on that part of the map. This time, Razah were a bit more set up for it. They were aware that there could be a big, heavy presence over by square, and so stepped up, took those fights, SDK in particular. Managed to get some great impact in that round, as I said. So they will at least tie this half. They were looking for a 4-2 as well. And since BDS won this basement site, they can try to run it back. And Parker, I gotta say, not having to go back to open is going to be a bit of a blessing for Razah. This is one of those bomb sites that can be very strong for the defense.
Completely agree. This is a very, very bad showing by EFAC at the moment. He's having very little value in terms of utility. He's having no value in terms of killing. He's got 2 assists, so he's at least been involved to an extent in the gunfights. Uzus is just dominating in kills. Brede not on the score sheet. EFAC not on the score sheet. Shaiko and Solotov combining for 5 kills. Uzus doubling that. It is a very, very bad start for some of these players on BDS. And yet, Jesse, they are still in a position to tie the first half. That is what is quite staggering.
Off your drone, Flasher. You've got a gunfight coming, and it's going to be against a Glaz with a smoke grenade.
He's still on the drone, but nope. Now he's off. Ooh, he was spotted for a second. Is he moving too much to be able to see through it? Yeah, he is. I was going to say, Solotov was kind of messing up how Glaz works there. If you're unfamiliar with Glaz, he has the ability to see through smoke. He turns people yellow. But you gotta stop moving for his gadget to work. If you're moving the way Solotov was, you're not going to be able to recharge that ability. You're not going to be able to see through the smoke. Solotov effectively wasted a smoke there and hoped to bait out Flastry. Solotov was moving too much to gain any value from the gadget.
I think it was a very readable play, too, Flastry. You see a smoke grenade at the start of garage like that, and there's pretty much only one off that could be on the other side of that smoke, so Flastry very patiently just plays behind those cars, too, making sure he doesn't give up any angles.
Yeah. Bassetto's tossed a nitro cell down at the top of blue and was playing that with the shotgun in hand, very close quarters, but he heard the shield and decided to get out of that position. I don't blame him for it at all. As we said with these bottom floor bomb sites, Jesse, you want to hold the map outside of the bottom floor for about a minute or 2, see how long you can get, and then fall back. BDS really struggled with the clock the last time they tackled this bomb site, and now they'll find themselves down a player very, very early into this execute. I say early into this execute because we got 45 seconds to go. BDS have to wait out all these flames, all the smokes that are going to come from the pocket alive. He still has all 3 gas canisters.
I don't really know where SDK is. His flank could be massively impactful if they're not careful on the side of BDS.
First kill is going to come in, and there's STK eliminating Leaky Fact, who will go the entire first half without a kill. STK was the difference maker from above. Uzus collects a dozen kills in just the first 6 rounds. That's quite sensational. Brede will now need to keep the Brit safe. As Shaiko dies, Nitro Cell could possibly come out. Uzus hopping off. He gets the kill. Perez with 1 as well. That's 2 kills so far for Perez in this round, and Brede will go killless too. Razah Academy so strong in this first half. 2 players on BDS unable to muster a single kill in the first half. That is dreadfully bad for a team like BDS.
Yeah, And obviously a lot of shield play from these players, but still.
They're mad.
Okay. Not as mad as we saw them yesterday. They got 7-1'd by Dark Zero on map number 3.
It was Solitov who was mad today, admittedly, not Leaky Fact.
True. We saw a lot of conversations about that moment on social media. I think my favorite take that I saw from anybody came from Pojo, former coach of TSM.
Pojo Man. Love that guy.
Who said, that there were a lot of people that were kind of almost justifying that moment to just be toxic.
Yeah.
Who like to scream at their teammates and think that it's, helpful. But the key thing that what Liquifak was able to do in that moment was he didn't blame anybody. He wasn't yelling at specific players. He wasn't trying to just get anger out. He just really wanted them to listen to him. He wanted them to communicate. He just needed to make it extremely clear what the team needed to do. And I mean, it did to an extent work. They won the round immediately after Liquifak had that moment with his team. They lost the map 7-1, so it didn't work in the long run maybe, but it did at least result in one kind of bounce back.
I think a lot of it also really just boils down to respect. Right? If you respect your leader and they show an incredible amount of frustration and disappointment, that will impact you in a certain way where, maybe I could dial in a little bit better. But eventually, if you're always shouting at your teammates or shouting in general, speaking of Leaky Fact, he just got the very first kill of the second half, so he has broken the goose egg and is now on the board. But eventually, you start to lose the room if you're just always shouting all the time. Meepy also weighed in on it, basically saying that, it's good to show that you care. It's good to ask for accountability. The game is about communication. And if you are not communicating and problem solving, you are losing. It doesn't matter how good you are. Leaky Fact was begging for them to communicate and problem solve, and you're right. Well, it helped in the immediate. It did not help long term, but at least it was something that the team could focus on and air out those frustrations in the game and not leave anything on the table.
Razah will leave all of the top floor on the table for BDS to take as they all retreat back to the boards. Sorry, BDS will leave it for Razah. As BDS leave...
Swapperoo, that's all. It's just swapperoo.
I know. Round 7. Leave the top floor so that Razah can take it. They say minute 30 is good enough time waste for us. They've got a lot of util down the site for BDS. Brede with 3 Toxic Babes, of course, and Nitro Cell being held by Uzis. Goyo Canisters is surely set up by Solitov. It'll be the work of STK to pop some of those Goyo Canisters if he hasn't already. And then Flastry's the guy I'm looking at, both right now on the screen, but also late for this execute. Where do those smokes go? Where do the fire grenades go? That's got to be your main tool to pop some of these, or to block some of these lines of sight so you can get that plant down.
They got one Goyo canister with a minute on the clock still to go. That's excellent. Next one will go, so Razah Academy setting themselves up timing-wise for a pretty good ability to get that plant off. Those Goyo canisters last for 20 seconds. Brede will have all of his smokes in back pocket. Brede has been largely ineffective on his role, given that he's the one that will be helping either bring in the diffuser himself or shielding the person that does that. Will he find better success as a defender? Usually he does, but we will see. Beautifully timed for these Toxic Babes, by the way. Nitro Cell will claim live from Uzis, and BDS certainly has a pulse. As down goes STK from above, Basetto huffing in too much of that gas. It's Flastry to drop through the hatch, find 2 quick kills. Brede eliminates him, though, takes down Uzis in the process. And hilariously, Brede is the only member of the team left standing, as Leaky Fact is down but not out. The round is saved by BDS, but that got real ugly real quickly, and still should not be something that they are particularly happy with. There are serious issues that BDS needs to work through.
Yeah, I mean, they get the job done eventually. Had a bit of a man advantage, but I said it was going to be Flastry, the guy to watch in that late round execute as he dropped him through the hatch. He absolutely had that momentum with him. If he hits one more quick shot, if he's able to take down Brede, that's a completely different ball game. We're sitting at a 5-2, but that is not the case. It's 4-3. BDS have started to mount this comeback. Both of their players who didn't get a kill in the first half managed to find one in that round, and half swap will do that to teams. You know, sometimes a game looks so dominant on one half, and then round 7 comes along and everything changes. Siege truly is a game of two halves, as some of our co-casters like to say.
First half of the first half, second half of the second half.
Mm-hmm.
We'll divide them into quarters. What if we divide them into sixths?
Drive them to 12ths. Big.
Oh my god, that's one round apiece. It's always 0-0, Jesse.
Always 0-0. That's what Super was saying yesterday.
And if Super says it, it must be true. Well, not only did BDS win the previous round, but both Brede and LeakyFac getting on the board is a huge mental hurdle that they have now managed to get over. I will say, the way that BDS plays now puts a lot less stress on Brede to get those big clutches that we have known him to do for so long. See, the reason why is that if you've got a weaker front line, you rely an awful lot on the back line to do more work than usual. If you've got 4 great offensive threats, then Brede saving your bacon is not anywhere near as important and probably won't happen as often as in previous iterations of this lineup. So something that we discussed, actually, if you recall, in Montreal, was that Brede was often left alone as a defender in a lot of their early matches and was failing to clutch. Well, the problem is that BDS would fall apart so quickly that Brede would be left in a 1v3 or a 1v4, and you're just not able to isolate the attackers at that point the way that Brede wants. Speaking of, he takes a bunch of damage inside a Janitor and now needs to get out of that position. That was from the repel windows. So Brede was exposed in that spot. He's at risk of losing his mirror windows. There goes one, it looks like. Razah Academy really putting a lot of pressure on these defenders.
Yeah, but so far, no cigar. I mean, they've wanted to find a pick, but they haven't been able to do so. They've gotten a lot of good Yutso cleared out. A lot of these mirror windows have been dealt with now. We saw that from the Ash charge of STK. Uh-oh, didn't see Saltov, though. The long angle with the DMR, that is so strong.
That's such a long angle. With a holographic sight, that's actually very impressive.
Oh, yeah.
I have to imagine he probably plays stretch resolution, so the targets will appear closer than they actually are. Last year will die too to LeakyFac, who already is significantly better as a defender than he ever was as an attacker on this map, but he dies to Baseto on square stairs. LeakyFac was peeking for information. He might die, but at least that's valuable info for the rest of his team. Got Brede down below with a Nitro Cell as well, playing the long game. So if Baseto is able to walk that diffuser in, Brede can stop it in its tracks. BDS have fallen back. They're going to allow them relatively unimpeded access to the bomb site, but Shaiko was ready for it. Shaiko picks up 2, Solitov 1. And can you believe your eyes? We got a tie game, Jesse.
We do, Parker. Second half's a whole different ball game. Baseto goes quite deep with that defuse kit. I don't think it's the wrong decision, simply because if he had planted default on the desk there with Brede down below, he likely would have been an easy Nitro Cell kill, but walking into the crosshair of Shaiko, never a smart idea. Shaiko will hit that shot 9 times out of 10, as he did in that round. So some clean play from BDS. Very conservative, keeping their lives alive, making sure that they do not go down, give up anything for free. That's what they've got to do against a team like Razah. This team's going to fish for those picks. They're going to be hunting for an opening. You've got to make sure there are no gaps in your defense, and for BDS, there were none.
I think we've been a bit critical of Razah Academy for not playing the highest brow Rainbow Six Siege in previous matchups. And I mean, they are not a top 5 team in the world, so you don't expect them to play like a top 5 team in the world. But they are steadily improving as this goes on and are surprising us map after map. As I said earlier, I hope that teams have stopped sleeping on them, because they're at a point now where a lot of these players are capable of having great games. The issue that I see with Razah Academy is consistency. Live has had quite a weak game so far. He was terrific yesterday. He's arguably been their best player.
Yeah.
And if he falls off, you need to ensure that the rest of the team can carry that weight. Right now, so far, so good. But almost every player on this Razah Academy team has had consistency issues over the 3 days that we have seen them play. Thing is that there's never really been 2 players that have had a bad game. And that's really what the difference is. Keep in mind, BDS has 2 players having a pretty bad game right now.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to matter. Of course, bringing us back to an overtime. Brede no longer having a bad day. How about that? Opening pick on the live SDK down 2. They're all falling apart, Parker.
Oh my goodness. Flastry looking for one. He finds it, narrowly avoiding a flawless round.
Ma classique. Well played, guys. Let's go basement.
Leaky Fack is insane. He just screamed like a barbarian and then giggled and followed up with, let's go basement.
He's a bit of a silly guy.
I would have burned down your houses and end your bloodline. Let's go basement.
Well, results in a round win in any case, man. I mean, whatever gets the job done, however Leaky Fack wants to communicate with his teammates, it seems to be going a little bit better today than I did yesterday. Obviously, a very quick round from Razah Academy in that last one. I honestly didn't quite catch exactly what was going on there, but literally was some kind of a fast hit, whether that was top floor or site, resulted in BDS standing strong. And I mean, we talk about just a moment ago, BDS not leaving any gaps in their defenses. Razah, they're desperate to find something, find some way into the site, find some opening pick, but it's just not coming.
I don't like this song as much as the other songs. It's still good. I just don't like it the same. Start to worry about Razah Academy losing the plot on this map. At this point, I don't know. BDS on defense so far have looked quite indomitable. They've picked it up. Their support players are playing well. Uses is continuing to do so much for this team. Dare I say it, 2 of the 3 rounds that we saw where BDS did better than expected on the first half. They only ended up winning 2 of them. Uses was the reason. Very crucial round, though. Very, very crucial round. If Razah Academy falls short here, it's BDS on match point, series point. Which, I don't know. With a team with this lack of experience, I'm not sure if they'll be able to come back or not. I highlighted Veto earlier on, and boy, oh boy, has he been finding good value across the entirety of this map. Not him that they need to rely on, though. The player that I think needs to come alive here is Live. They'll do discovery work with 1 minute now off of the clock. That's a good roam. Map control being held right now by BDS, who have extended outwards. Razah Academy will have to fight right through this right now. Default cam's still up, and Solotov playing a strong position on the elevator. He's actually very close to Flastry, but I don't believe the main lobby cam is up. I think the jig is up, though, on this position. Flastry was doing some work with that blowtorch, and unfortunately, it's killed an awful lot of time. And now they'll scamper around. Veto over towards Square. Live now linking up with Flastry. BDS holding this map excellently, and now they have fallen off. They've done so with plenty of time still left on the clock. Flastry maybe a bit slower on the torching than we expected. For the second map in a row, a Nitro Cell is botched, and Flastry manages to get away quite safely. This time he actually did run away from it, though. I'll circle over top of servers. If you recall, BDS struggled with the clock on this exact same bomb site. Perez, though, finding Shaiko is an opening, and it's on the stairs, so a backside hit is possible.
time, though. I mean, we're so low. 30 seconds, Parker.
He'll answer back, though. EFAC with one pump from the shotgun and live is the opposite of his name. I mean, you're going to lose the buck on this one. That's tough. You're going to lose another active player. A drop into server. Brede was ready for it. Greets Basetto at the ends of an SMG-11. He gets a read, but a knife in the back from Perez amidst the smoke. BDS attempting to get out of this position. A Nitro Cell will stop them. Now it's STK's turn. Flashtree the only coverage, but uses with 2 big kills will push BDS to series point.
Time and time again, Uzis is the hero. My God, he's playing fantastic today. The one Brit on this team, making sure he gets it done, and he's been consistent all throughout his time on BDS, through regional leagues, through big events. You know, I think a lot of time on this team, Liquefact gets a lot of the spotlight, so does Shaiko, but Uzis, when he needs to, my God, is he insane.
Really excelling across the field, Uzis with 12 kills through the first 6 rounds and now adding 4 kills as a defender. But the bigger story is how everybody else on BDS is showing up. Razah Academy continue to exceed our expectations, and they sit at the top of the group at the moment, but it was only a matter of time until BDS found their groove. You don't go to the grand finals of the most recent major and I would argue be one of the best teams in the world over the last calendar year, and then just suddenly forget to play the game. The meta has not shifted enough for me to think that BDS are not among the favorites. Yeah, they had a rough go of it against DZ yesterday. Leaky Fact's frustration might have proved to be a motivating factor for this team, as while there have been hiccups so far, this looks like a rejuvenated BDS squad here against Razah Academy. And we could be only a couple minutes away from the first loss at SI for the Brazilian SI Last Chance Qualify winning team that once played under that E1 banner, now goes by Razah Academy.
An honorable team to lose to, though. I mean, BDS, you said you would call them one of the best. Many people call them the best, even though they lost that last major grand finals.
That's phase erasure. That is phase erasure.
Phase are great, too. I'm not saying that.
Phase erasure.
In any case, BDS have put up such an incredible season. Nobody would deny that. Back-to-back major grand finals, but I believe the BO5s are where they haven't been able to get it done.
Very curious if that Evil Eye spotted both of the players dropping outside on patio. It's hard to tell. I don't think they got that. I mean, when the Deimos hucked the nade in, that you know that at least one player's in the vicinity. Not the greatest start for Razah Academy. They seem to have so much control over this map. They've been in free fall since 4 consecutive rounds, 4 unanswered rounds from BDS, and the first kill in which could be a series-defining round for BDS. Things are going great for them, and they've taken care of Perez, who throughout all 3 matches that we've seen of Razah Academy, he's often been that standout performer.
And this is where, if you're Razah Academy, you cannot stall out. You cannot afford to sit still against match points. You know, this is exactly how teams die. If you fall apart now, if you can't get some other type of pick, and it seems like they're just sitting around, Parker. They got players on window, players on square. They've got to find an opening. There it is.
And it's live of all people. He struggled to find the scoreboard throughout this contest. You know that his potential is much higher. He finds another onto Leaky Fac inside of Janitor as the giant Frenchman again goes for an ego peek, maybe even for intel from that same spot. It allows Live to move up very cavalierly towards this bomb site. Uzis, wisely, with 30 seconds left, has removed himself from the vicinity. He's going to go onto those Evil Eye cams to try and deny the plant. Another kill comes in from BDS as Uzis guns down. Blastry, the flank from Shaiko will get one. Live inside of Janitor's doing all the work himself, but the Turkish terror, Solotov, will send this map into the history books. A 2-0 for BDS as they seemingly are back in fine form. Razah Academy, it's their first defeat here in Boston.
BDS fans were praying for a comeback, and they got just that. here in game number 2. Cleanly does it on 2 of their best maps, Nighthaven and Bank. It was a bold choice from Razah Academy to choose this map in a BDS, but they learned the hard way why BDS are considered to be the best Bank team in the world. They'll extend their win streak to 14 straight games in a row on Bank.
Yeah, if I was BDS looking at the map pool, I would have been pretty happy. You and I discussed that, actually, about how it definitely benefits the European team. BDS picking up some big points today with a 2-0 clean victory over Razah Academy. We'll break down this matchup after the break.